Good morning. Today we will start or we will continue with our topic, that is when people rebel, or the revolt of 1857. In the last uh, period we have studied about the political causes of the revolt of 1857. Now we'll come on the economic causes, because for any struggle, for any revolt, there's not a one cause is sufficient. There are number of causes. So we will switch on to the next topic, that is economic causes. Do you know what do you mean by drain of wealth? It is in your last chapter also. Drain of wealth. Drain means to drain anything. Drain of water, मतलब बहना. In the same way, drain of wealth. This theory was propounded by the grand old man, that is Dada Bhai Naroji. And one thing you should remember that this also come in your NTSC. Drain of wealth, Dada Bhai Naroji propounded this theory. It means the draining of wealth. Wealth of India is draining to England without any subsequent return. इंडिया से यहाँ का पैसा इंग्लैंड में जा रहा है, बट बदले में हमें कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा. दैट इज द ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ. एंड नेचुरली अगर हमें कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है तो इट इज वेरी हार्मफुल टू आवर कंट्री. So people were very agitated against the British. And second is exploitation of Indian resources. Exploitation of Indian resource means everything, like our Indian resources or our natural resources, our small scale industries, or and whatever that is exploited by the British people or the East India Company um, because of their benefit, like destruction of a small scale industry, destruction of handicrafts, or there was widespread unemployment. So people were very angered towards the British people. And not all the Jamindars, but many Jamindars were also against the British people because their land has been taken by the British. Not all, but some Jamindars were also against the British or the East India Company. And the small causes were, you can say, the effect of these were many Indians were rendered jobless, no jobs for the educated Indians, and at the same time there were famines or plagues in India, but the government is not doing anything or not providing any help to the Indian people. So people were against the British rule or to the East India Company. We will move on our next cause, that is social and religious causes. Do you know? Did you know we Indians are very emotional. Today also you're very emotional, and at the back, like at that time during the 19th century, we are very religious-minded people, or we are very uh, we stood. The people were very conservative. They doesn't want any changes in the religion or in the social custom, but the Britishers, though they did good to the Indian people, like ban on sati pratha in 1829, widow remarriage, that has been started by the British to do good for the Indian people. But the Indians took this in the other way. How? I will explain this. First, ban on sati pratha in 1829. This is also in your in your history book of chapter, that social reformer Raja Rammohn Roy. Raja Rammohn Roy was big supporter of Sati Pratha, and due to the great effort done by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Lord William Banting banned the Sati Pratha in 1829. This is good. This is good to the Indian people. But the Indian people took it in the other way. Many Indian, not all, but many Indian. Second, that act was passed, Widow Remarriage Act, in 1856, just before the revolt of 1857. Widow remarriage. Now the widows could be remarried by this act. Now the marriage has been legalized. This has been passed due to the effort of Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, great social reformer. These are the few examples. Now, if you look at these act, these are good to the Indian people, but the Indians have prejudiced towards the British. They thought that the British wanted to exploit the religious religion so that Indians could be converted into Christianity. Uh, no doubt, British wanted the Indians to be converted into the Christian religion or into the Christianity. But by passing these acts, they have no negative thinking in their mind. But the Indians took it in the other way. This is I have explained a bit deep to you, but this is very important. You should know why these act was passed and what were the harmful effect and what are the good effect by passing these acts. That's why I have explained you in detail. And basically, Indians were prejudiced against the British also because uh, they were very undignified methods for the spread of Christianity. As I've explained you earlier, the the British have passed these acts for the good of the Indian people, but the Indian were prejudiced towards the British because they thought that they wanted to convert them into the Christianity. Just because the British have also used the undignified methods for the spread of Christianity. They insulted our Lord Ram or Prophet Muhammad, and also bribes the people that if you will convert into the Christianity, we will give you a job and whatever you want. So Indians were prejudiced against the British or towards the East India Company. At the same time, there was the introduction of railways and telegraphs. Railways were introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Before Lord Canning, Lord Dalhousie was the Governor General. He introduced the railway in 1856. The first railway line was set up from Bombay to Thana, and telegraph system was also started by Lord Dalhousie. Good to the people, but the people thought it otherwise. They thought that if they would not be converted into Christianity, then they would have been thrown before the railways. Again, the Indians were prejudiced against the British, and they revolted in 1857. Now, I have already said you that many people were of the opinion that was the sepoy meeting. Sepoy are an Indian soldier. So one of the basic cause of the revolt of 1857 was military causes. Dissatisfaction of the Indian soldiers. Why people were dissatisfied? Naturally, if any injustice were made, if any injustice done to any people, to anybody, Indian soldiers were dissatisfied because there were a wide disparity in their income. Wide disparity in their income means the ratio of the income of an Indian sepoy to the British soldier were 1 is to 100. Means if the Indian sepoy were getting 1 rupee, then the British sepoy is getting 100 rupees. So wide disparity in their income. And the promotion chances of the Indian sepoy were less in comparison to the British sepoy, British soldier. The highest rank got to an given to an Indian soldier was of Subedar, and one of the basic cause was the annexation of Awadh. Annexation of Awadh was done by Lord Dalhousie in the year 1856. Annexation of Awadh. Annexation means uh, the state has to be taken into the British Empire. अवध को अपनी ब्रिटिश एम्पायर में मिला लिया by the Lord Dalhousie in 1856, and it was not liked by the Awadh people. So there was a widespread revolt in Awadh due to the British people, and one of the main cause, not main cause, but there were a wide disparity in the number of European and Indian soldiers. Wide disparity means the ratio between an Indian soldiers and European soldier were 1 is to 6. Disparity in the number of European and Indian soldiers. If the European soldier is 1, then the Indian soldier is 6. एक यूरोपियन सोल्जर पे 6 इंडियन सोल्जर हैं, मतलब 5 इंडियन सोल्जर इज मोर देन यूरोपियन सोल्जर. तो नेचुरली मेजॉरिटी इंडियन सोल्जर्स की है. सो बट लेस चांसेस ऑफ प्रमोशन, लेस सैलरी, एंड रिजल्ट support meeting, support an Indian soldier. And did you know that before in the 19th century, to cross the to cross any sea, it was against the religion of the people. It was a sin to go across any ocean. Means if that time in the 19th century, if anybody want to cross the Indian Ocean, then it would be a sin to their religion. Means it was against the religion to cross any ocean. But in 1856, an act was passed by which now it was this act was also passed by Lord Dalhousie. By now, any Indian soldier could be sent to fight anywhere in or outside the country. Means they have to, if they have to go across the ocean, they have to. This is made compulsory by Lord Dalhousie, and the name of the act is General Service Enlistment Act. Fuel has ready. Now only the spark is wanted, and this spark has been provided by the grease cartridges. Grease cartridges. In Hindi, it is known as charbi wala kartoos. A new rifle has been introduced in 1853, and these rifles were loaded with grease cartridges, which had to be bitten by mouth before filling them in the rifles. No problem in that. We can bite and fill in the rifles. But it has been rumored that these cartridges were made of the fat of cow and pig. ये जो cartridges थे, these are कारतूस, जो एक तरह से बारूद जो होते हैं भरने के लिए राइफल में, इसको पहले मुंह से बाइटिंग करना पड़ता है, then has to be loaded in the rifle. But it is a rumor has been spread that these cartridges or ये जो कारतूस है has been made up of the fat of cow and pig, and it was against the religion of the Hindus and Muslims. Up in Judaism mind, they thought that the British wanted to exploit their religion, or they wanted them to convert them to Christianity. So only a spark is required, and this spark has been provided by Grace Cartiers, and the revolt has been started by the first by Mangal Pandey, and the first shot of the revolt. Mangal Pandey, a Brahmin sepoy from Barakpur. Where is Barakpur? In Bengal. Barakpur in Bengal. There, a Brahmin sepoy, Mangal Pandey, refused to use these grease cartridges and, and shot one sergeant on March 29, 1857. Mangal Pandey was arrested and hanged for this crime. After Barakpur, a widespread revolt took place in Meerut, or we can say the spread of revolt from Meerut to Delhi. 29th March 1857, first shot of the revolt at Barakpur in Bengal. At Meerut, 85 sepoys 85 sepoys refused to use these grease cartridges. They were dismissed from service and sentenced to 10-year jail for disobeying their officer. And at Meerut, this has happened on 9th May 1857. 9th May 1857, the 85 sepoys refused to use the grease cartridges and they were imprisoned. On the very next day, that is on 10th May, the other soldiers marched to the jail and released the imprisoned soldiers. See the intensity of the revolt. And they killed the British officers. The soldiers were determined to bring an end to their rule in the country. To bring an end to their rule means the rule of the East India Company. And on 10th May, they reached Delhi. All over the night, that is on 10th May, they rolled on to Delhi, and in the morning they reached at Delhi. As soon as the news of their arrival spread in Delhi, the other regiment also rose up in rebellion. This is the spread of the revolt. Mangal Pandey, first shot of the revolt, March 29, 1857. At Meerut, 9th May 1857, 85 sepoys were imprisoned. On the very next day, the other soldiers released the imprisoned soldiers. Now, in the next morning, they reached at Delhi. As soon as the news of the arrival spread, the other regiment also revolted against the East India Company. And at Delhi, the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II was there. The people requested Bahadur Shah II to be their leader of the revolt. Though the Bahadur Shah II was hesitant but accepted to be the leader of the 1857 revolt. Bahadur Shah II was also the last Mughal emperor. Now, Bahadur Shah II was very aged at that time, but then he accepted the leadership and wrote letters to all chiefs and rulers of the country to come forward and provide leadership to the revolt or to the people. Many rulers come forward by they have their own selfish motive also, because now their authority has deteriorated due to the rule of the East India Company. So they thought that if the rule of the Mughal Empire would establish again, they would be independent or they would be more powerful than this time. So many small rulers also supported this revolt. And one more effect of the leadership of the Bahadur Shah II, because the people have loyalty towards the Mughal emperors, and as soon as the Mughal emperor accepted the leadership, the Indian people, the Indian people filled with courage, hope, and confidence, and the rebellion spread all over the India, or though it was centered to northern India, but then there were also some revolt in Rajasthan also, in South India also, but basically it was confined to North India. Important centers of the revolt, centers, and who took the leadership there. Delhi, General Bakat Khan, Bakht Khan at Kanpur, Nana Sahib, or the adopted son of last Peshwa Bajirao II, Lucknow, Begum Hashrat Mahal. Question can become of one marks or in objective type also, that who provided leadership at the center like a Delhi General Bakat Khan at Kanpur Nana Sahib. This type of question can also become in your NTSC or in your exam. Allahabad, Liaquat Ali, Jhansi, Rani Lakshmi, Bihar, Kumar Singh. In your NTSC syllabus, in your CBSE, only the important center of Indian centers, like all over. If you are given NTSC of Rajasthan, then the question may come from the important center of the Rajasthan of the revolt of 1857. Then Kota, Ajmer. There, the mutiny was very uh, intensified.